Hey, how you doing? I'll bet you wonder what I'm doing sitting down here amongst the chopped up slabs from the sawmill. Because as they come through and I pile them up out on the edge here, the slabs, I just take and block them up for either campfire wood, which we go through a bunch of it around here, or for the boiler, or for, anyhow, I cut it up. But as I was cutting up this little pile of stuff here, I looked at it and I thought, here is an excellent example of two extremes. Both this and this, two different trees of our magnificent Norway pine tree. Our beautiful red pine, Norway pine, the beacon of light of the north. It's just an amazing tree, and people really love it because it's so beautiful, and it's green, and it's got this pretty red, sort of pinkish red bark on it, and it looks nice all winter long, and it grows straight and tall, and it's majestic, and it will live to be like 150 years old, and maybe a giant might make it to be three feet in diameter. Maybe. That's extremely rare. I think the biggest one at chest height, okay, in Minnesota, I think it's around 34 or 35 inches. I think it's in Itasca State Park. Not positive if that tree's still standing anymore, but that once upon a time was the biggest one. But still, what am I doing here? Look it. See the difference? You can see the color difference. This tree was cut last fall, and I sawed it up what was left. This is the top from the one that I quartered for a video. 32 inches at the base, not chest height. At the base it was 32. But this is the very top of the tree, and it's still, it was still all creamy white inside, creamy white. The color of it, no sap stain. Because, see what this is? The color of it is sap stain. Well, the color of it is kind of a gray, and then there's some brown streaking here. Here's more of it. And you can tell the condition of it. If you know what the colors mean, you can tell the condition of the wood by the color. And you can force it to have this kind of color. Just leave it, if you cut it in the spring and leave it sit through the summertime, in the heat of the summer, as a dead tree with bark still on it, it will be this color, all the sapwood, by fall. But what does this mean? Because this is, although it's beautiful, oh, look at this, beautiful. Does that enhance my amazing? No. No. Okay. It's kind of like blue, like my shirt, almost. It is the blue color is an early form of rot. It's called sap stain, but as the tree begins to decay. Now, Norway pine is good for a lot of stuff. A lot of the treated material that you find is Norway pine. Next from there, as far as a species that's easy to treat, southern yellow pine. I like the southern yellow pine. It's a much harder tree for treated material, but there's tremendous amount of stuff, and with the treating stuff that they got now, it does really well with Norway pine. But if you're going to build a log house or something like that, don't let it get wet, especially if it's made out of this stuff, because you have the blue color, and then here we have all these to choose from. Oh, more blue stuff. And we have, on the outside, white mold. Moldy. And on the inside, and here's, no, that's not color, that's a chip. There's a little yellowness. I'm looking for some that's either pink, because I know over here. Here's this brown, here's pink. As the decay, the sap stain moves towards more rottenness, the colors will change. And when you look at the end grain, you can see it here. Look at the end grain. See that? See this here? Yeah, see this color here on the end grain. where the color goes through is blue. And here's some that's turning brown. Decay, it's forms of rot. Here's more. Oh, here so you can see that it's all blue with a little of this. But I know there was some in here that was, there's more. It was the first side of it that I cut where well, I'm not finding it at the moment. Here, oh, here it is. There we go. Now this one here, same tree. Look at, oh, look at, I can just, there, you see the fibers here? See what I'm doing with this here? This was from just one side of the tree. I think it was the top side that it was laying. Because this tree was actually peeled with a pressure washer. And then I had it inside for a while, and it got in the way, and we weren't using it, and I set it outside. I think it was outside for a year. It turned this nice gray color. Does it match my beard? Yeah, close. Okay, but it turned this nice gray color. But Norway pine, if it's getting the nice gray color outside, is getting rot on the inside. Now, if this was cedar, northern white cedar, you could have it turn this nice gray color. See? And if you didn't put a finish on it, it might be fine for 20, 30, 40 years, maybe, depending upon the conditions where it is. But Norway pine, this is, you can have it rot like this and come apart like this in just 1 year. If you have it even as a peeled log. I know, because the first log home that I built, the year, I cut enough timber. The contract was I get to cut 200 trees out of this 80-acre stand. I cut the trees, built the one house the 1 year. The next house was going to be for my wife and I. Now, we built it, but we noticed, and the old logger explained to me what was going on, and I better get my butt in gear and get a roof on that house really quick, or it was going to be gone. So we changed the design of it. We put a super wide overhang on it so it would be protected from the weather. But I wish I had known what would happen to our magnificent Norway pine before I built a whole house out of it. Yeah. And, you know, some lessons are very expensive learned. For me, that was a very expensive lesson learned. Ended up selling the house for just a fraction of what it would have been worth if the wood was all like this. If the wood was all like this with a protected overhang, I could have maybe got twice for the house of what I did. But they were aware of the conditions of it and why it was built the way it was and why it had a really wide overhang on it, and you know. But that was long time ago when the earth was young. Yeah, so enjoy the journey. And even though this blue color is pretty, if you force it to, if you have the blue color is pretty, but have it inside the house where it's protected. You know, for when you use it for paneling like this, oh, it can be absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Just so you know what it is. Don't put it outside where it's going to rot away. But the weird thing is, here's the weird thing of it all. You take this same Norway pine, this same board, and if I take this board as thin as it is, where it will get wet and dry, and actually dry out, I could take this, nail it to a tree, and have it be perfectly, if it's just up off the ground and nailed to the tree, like to make a sign out of it, it might last 30 or 40 years. Now, that's weird. That is just plain weird. But the bigger, like this, it was outside for, I think, at least a full year. That's how it turned gray. It was outside for at least a year after it had been debarked. I debarked it right away, and I got it inside right away. But like I say, it was in the way. I put it outside, and it took, I think, 1 year to go from this to where it was the rotten piece stuff. Okay. The bigger it is, the bigger the chunk of wood is, the faster it will rot. I explained that on another video, but this, you could put that out, and this board, as thin as it is, it will dry out, but this might last 20 or 30 years, like this, just nailed to a tree as a sign, or a fence post, a post with a sign on it, something, you know, welcome. Yeah, so there you go, and just we'll put welcome on here. Welcome. Maybe I can do that. Maybe Camera Girl can figure out how to do that on the computer to go Shazam, or says me, or welcome. Enjoy the journey. Have a good one.